Hey folks, Vic here with the weekly trade video for the week and month ending April 30th, 2021. I have a bunch more examples of Forex Scalp trades from April 26th to April 30th. And you know, like any kind of trading, there are many ways to scalp, just different approaches. The one thing that's always a constant with our trading is the use of higher time frame levels of support and resistance, whether it's scalping or day trading, swing trading, or whatever. The month of April hasn't been a great month in terms of big moves for our scalp trades, okay? But, you know, there's just been a lot of starts and stops and getting, you know, a little bit of profit then stopped out. But because we use such great trade management, it should still be a profitable month for people, positive results. But that's going to depend on whether or not a person took all the trades, what sessions they traded, how they managed their trades, etc. Okay, and this is why results are always going to vary from one trader to the next. But I hope that by seeing what we do with our scalp trades, that it can be helpful for you in your own trading. One thing about scalping that's kind of nice is that you get a lot of practice putting trades on and managing them in a short period of time. So in other words, like, you know, say you're a swing trader, it takes a lot longer to get, you know, say 20 trades than it does with scalping. So you get lots of practice at it. So even if you're not wanting to be a scalp trader or you don't have the time, you can still get a lot of benefit from going through lots of scalp trades to understand the process. And then that can be applied to any trading style. So let's have a look at the trades. And as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, okay, if you like these videos. And of course, you can easily subscribe to our channel by clicking that subscribe button in the lower right corner of the video. Okay, here you go. Hey folks, these are some trades that set up for us on Tuesday, April the 27th, 2021. And these are, I'll show you trades today that members took. You know, so you don't think it's just all theoretical and all that kind of stuff. There's some good trading opportunities. And, you know, the thing is with these trades, on these scalp trades, you put them in, you manage them carefully. We have very small pip risk. And you never know what's going to happen. And you have to allow yourself to, you know, allow these moves to play out for you. But at the same time, you need to manage them very carefully. The trade management is huge because you just never know. And because quite often we'll take counter trend trades or whatever. And in fact, I'll show you a counter trend trade in just a minute. But first of all, I'm going to show you a trade on the Euro US dollar. When you're trading the Euro US dollar, because of the high correlation with the dollar index, it's kind of useful to look at the dollar index to see what it's doing. And I'll just show you here that the dollar index, you see this level down here, how strongly price moved away? Well, that's a really good, and look what the dollar index did the prior day. Okay, it actually hit it and stopped and made a little doji down there. And that's a good sign because it's at support and going up. It's the expectation, or what you want to see is that the Euro US dollar is at resistance and maybe going to come down because they're inversely correlated and quite highly correlated. So if I go to the Euro US dollar, what did it do the prior day? It did the opposite. Look at this. It hit this level of really good resistance. This is an old, very significant neckline resistance where it went down really sharply from there. Hits it and does this yesterday. Makes this little doji spinning top or whatever you want to call it. So that's a clue that we could be heading down because the index is at support. So if we go to our entry time frame, this is really good to see because you can see what happened is price following yesterday's, this is the end of yesterday, it did start to go down just as we expected. Took out all these lows in here, and that's negative. And so here's the daily level. Look, that's a pretty good level on the 15-minute chart too, right? That's a good place to sell. And one of our members sold right there, and this is the move down. And, you know, depending on trade management, you could still be in this, even though it's coming back up. Who knows what's going to happen? But there's definitely a profitable trade the way that we manage our risk, okay? Another trade, Aussie US dollar. The same guy took this trade here. He's an experienced member, so he really is has no hesitation in taking these because he has lots of confidence because he's done them a lot. And this particular trade, we have a resistance level on the Aussie US dollar right here that's been hit quite a bit. And what we want to see is a reaction to it. What does it do when it hits it? And so what it did is it started to drop off. And if you go down to the 15-minute chart, our entry time frame, it had this is actually a trade we had the prior day. We sold it at the very top of the day. No kidding, it was quite a trade. In any event, this trade today kept going down, breaking all these lows, breaking below this level of what is expected to be support, and now becomes resistance. And the sell was here with a stop up. The stop was never even close. And here's what's happened so far, heading down pretty well. Okay, so another quite profitable trade on that one. And we had a live trade today too on the euro yen pair. Now this is a counter trend trade, and you may not want to trade counter trend. You might want to only trade with the trend, and that's perfectly fine. Now there are circumstances where we will trade counter trend. You can see that this level, this black line here, I'm going to take this red line out of here because it's not needed. This level right in here is a really good level of resistance. I think most people would agree. So you see this spike? What happens is something got there was a price went all the way up here, and there's enough sellers to push it all back down again. So if we go down to our 4-hour chart, we like to look and see, hey, what was up in that spike? Well, this is where the spike was right here. And I've got this line marked across here to show you where we sold. Now, if you look at it, you think, oh, you must have lost on this. It went straight up through it. Well, that's a 4-hour chart. Let's go look at our entry time frame, 15-minute chart. And here's that blue line right here. Now let's zoom it in here and look what happened. And again, this was taken live in our room during the New York session when I'm there. And we sold it at 130.92, right up into here. Okay. And then what did it do? Well, it hesitated for 15 minutes, and then down it went, and we got our first profit out of it when it spiked down like this. And now it's gone way back up. Okay, as I'm recording this, look at it, it's hitting an opposing level of resistance here. We'll see what happens with it. But in any event, I want you just to see how, like when you take on a counter trend trade like this, which may or may not be something for you, but if you do, they can be good moves. But you do have to manage them very carefully, like with any other trade, so that you preserve capital at all times, because you just never know what's going to happen. And yeah, so there you go. I hope those examples are helpful, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey folks, Vic here with a live trade going on right now. I just thought I'd hit the record button and show you a trade that we're in right now. We just got filled at 130.91 on the Euro US dollar right here. And it's a very, very strong standalone level on the 4-hour chart, which is why we're using it. And it is, let me get rid of some of these lines here. Gee, usually clean these things up. But anyway, get rid of that one. Anyway, yeah, this is the 4-hour chart down here. And let me just bring this up here. Right here, that's a 4-hour really strong level. Look what it did. So we're retesting it right now. And together with other factors, it is a trade that we're just going to put on. And, you know, we should get enough of a reaction. We usually do anyway, to at least get the risk out of it, maybe take first profit. The risk in this trade is, what is it here? We've got 12 pips. 12 pips of risk in this trade. So stand by. Let's just see what happens. Okay, let's see what more we can get. We've had the expected reaction to the downside. First profit has been taken. I see lots of our members got this trade, which is great to see as well. So, yeah, you know, this pair is in a general uptrend, so I'm not expecting a lot more, but we'll see if it has any more to the downside or not. But it's a counter trend trade, and but it was, like I said, a very, very good standalone 4-hour level. And let's just stand by and see if we get more out of it. Alrighty, well, price came back up, not unexpected. This is an uptrend on the daily and the weekly, and everything's heading up on this pair. But when it hits these levels, you'll usually get a reaction, and you just never know. Sometimes these counter trend trades can turn out to be quite lucrative. So, you know, you just have to, you know, get in them, get in the game, and then manage it very carefully, as we always do. And so, the members that all took the trades here, they were all posting here that they got their first profit, and, you know, out on the second part of their position for break even. So anyway, there you go. That was in the euro yen pair, and it is Tuesday, April the 27th, 2021. Thanks. Okay, folks, here's a few scalp trades that set up on Thursday, April the 29th, 2021, and this is the New Zealand yen pair. So the observation here is that we have rallied up here. This pair is in an overall uptrend on the daily and the weekly chart. So it's kind of our biases to the long side. doesn't mean we won't take short trade scalps, so they can set up really nicely. So you can see we're making higher lows here on the daily, we're making higher highs on the daily, but now we come up to resistance. So kind of the moment of truth here. And on our entry time frame, like if you just pay attention to this level right here, one thing I want you to see is that when it hits this resistance level, it can go through it a little bit here. You'll see actually on this candle here that this wick in here there's some selling going on in here. So we want to be aware of that and maybe find possible entries up a little bit higher, because we're probably still going to get a reaction before it breaks out, if it does break out. So at this point, actually at this point now it's forming a double top in here, but we'll see what happens. So on the 15-minute chart, this was that daily level. Price rallied up. This blue line here is a 15-minute level within that wick I just showed you, and it actually produced a nice little profit in there before going back up. So it was mildly profitable, on part of your position. Then it got stopped out for the remainder. These are now finished, and now we're looking for a buy down at support. Okay, and there's ways to adjust these buy entry levels, but just to keep it simple, what we do is, like, we want to see price moving in our favor and getting the risk out of the trade or making the first profit target, etc. If it's fooling around too long, we'll get out of this trade. And this is a kind of a trade we would just take a break even on. Okay, so nothing on that one. A little bit of a win on this and a break even on this one down here. On the New Zealand US dollar pair, so this was another one here that you can see. If I bring this up here, we were hitting this level of this is old resistance becomes support, and this is resistance up into here. Again, if we use our other higher time frames, there was actually a price. This is the upper level I just showed you on the daily chart, and it just barely missed it by, like, I don't know, 0.3 of a pip or something like that. It was pretty close. Comes down and we hit support, and this is a good level of daily support. And one of our members bought it right here at 77.40, and he got his first profit out of it, and then it went down like this. This blue line is another good 15-minute level that I was watching, and I took this trade and told everybody in the room I was taking it, and they all watched me lose on it. Okay, I mean, it just never held and went straight against you. That happens. Trust me, I can show you so many trades where these produce fantastically good moves. They lose sometimes, and you have to have the right mental mindset about this. I mean, that's just trading. It happens. So no big deal. You cannot let stuff like that affect you or bother you or anything like that. Okay. So yeah, there's a couple of trades that set up. I just wanted to show you how we handle them and all that. And that was on what was it here? It was a Thursday, April the 29th, 2021. Thanks so much. Okay, so to wrap up the week, this is Friday, April the 30th, and the month, by the way, of 2021. So it's the end of the week, end of the month, Friday. I tell you, it's been very, very volatile. Price has been not producing the results that we'd like, but I got to tell you something here. The trade manager that we use has been so good. It has really kept us in. And in fact, I'm still mildly profitable this month, even despite the fact there hasn't been any really good follow through on a lot of pairs. So let me just show you a few that set up here, that why we were looking at these trades and what we did. This is the Euro US dollar pair, and you can see after coming down and rotating lower, we had this really nice strong move up and rotated higher, what we call a bullish rotation. And so this level here is a level that we're interested in. And if you look at the 4-hour chart, and by going through these higher time frames, you can find some really good trading opportunities as price rallies up and comes down, rallies up and comes down. And as it rallied up, and we have our next level of daily resistances up here, we're looking at this level down in here for a buy. This is a daily level, and we can refine that entry by using a 15-minute chart and get really zeroing in on a good place to enter. And on the 15-minute chart, that was right here. That's this blue line. And you look at this, it just chops around. This actually ended up making our first take profit on it. We take profit when we get out an amount equal to our initial risk, because once you get the risk out of a trade, you get a free look at it in much, much higher prices, and you can still get a really nice reward risk. Well, you can see what happened. It finally collapsed and went straight down. So, a very small profit on that, but not a loss either. On the New Zealand yen pair, this has been in a big uptrend on the weekly and daily charts for a while, and you can see we're making higher lows and higher highs, and we came off of this top level and down to this next level here, which is a really good level of expected support with a huge move down. There's a significant level there. So on the 4-hour chart, again, you can still see that we're moving very strongly upwards. Comes down to this daily level in here, and on the 15-minute chart, we had an adjusted level to buy at. It was right here, right down. You can see it right here. Okay, even though this is the support level on the daily, we can sometimes get a better price if price could come down just a bit more. Well, it did, and it went straight against us. Never stopped us out. And when this happens here, there's no way we would let this be a losing trade. We have rules for when price closes against us like this. And look what happened. Good thing we got out of it. And finally, on the British pound US dollar pair, we had this trade during the New York session. We had this level identified right here. Right here, you see price had gone above it and come back down. It's a strong level because look how hard price moved away from it. So we had that identified. And then we go to the, if you look at the 4-hour chart, you know, we have a big, super strong move up, a move down, and a rally, and then it comes back down again into this level here. Look where the 4-hour started from. The 4-hour started from here, so that gets our attention. And then we were able to get an even better entry level on the 15-minute chart. This is during the New York session, which was right here. And I actually bought this at 138.64 and was able to take my first profit out of it. And then look what happened. It just collapsed. And who's to know? I mean, we didn't see that coming. But again, you have end of month, you know, on a Friday, and earnings season upon us, which is all sorts of stuff's happening with the U.S. dollar. So these things all factor into it. But even despite all of that, with impeccable trade management, you can still come out of these things, at least break even, or maybe even make a little bit, which is what happened today. So anyway, hope that helps. And we'll see you guys all next week with more scalp examples. Thanks. Well, there you go. And again, you know, I hope that these videos are at least somewhat helpful for you. We use these techniques every single day to sniff out trade setups. There were more trades than what I showed here. This is just a sampling. But, you know, they're very consistent in picking up reaction levels, and almost always enough of a reaction to at least get first profit and or remove the risk. So, as always, if you have any questions, just ask. Happy to get back to you. And if you have any comments, please post them under the video. That'd be great. So with that, I wish you all a great weekend. All the best in the week ahead for trading, and take care. Thank you so much.